It is time, of course, for our community spotlight, and today's guest is Twisted Knot, a name you'll no doubt recognise if you play EventLab, but if you don't, check out some of their work. Hello, Twisted Knot, and welcome to Forza Monthly. Hi, that was a pretty epic intro, as intros go. Did you put that together yourself?
I did. It almost seems too epic, to be honest. I feel like I'm entering an action movie here as like a Wish version of Jason Statham. So, you know, a bit intense, a bit too dramatic, but to be honest, I loved it. I hope you all loved it in the chat as well. I see everyone in the chat saying hello and all that, so hi to everyone in the chat.
Hello. Well done, because you're a man of many talents, because in addition to EventLab, which we will talk about very shortly, you also started streaming quite recently, and Forza will be hosting a stream right here on the Forza channel after this show, so that's pretty exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So I didn't think I was going to get into the streaming game, but to be honest, I love hanging out with all you lovely people who enjoy the same things I do. So yeah, be sure to, drop by and say hi.
Definitely. I mean, what better way to showcase your creations than to have your own stream, have your own community, and just play it right there and then. But speaking of that, what do you actually have planned for the stream after this?
So I've got a bunch of great event labs created by a bunch of you great creators out there, from rally to road tracks. It's just an awesome way we can just sit, chill out, and just check out some event labs together.
Excellent. Well, stick around after Forza Monthly to catch Twisted's stream. But for now, we're going to look at some of your EventLab creations. So you're quite prolific when it comes to EventLab. How many events would you say you've actually created to date, and how often are you putting out new content?
To be honest, probably about 26 or so EventLab creations with a few Super 7s on the side, just like a little sprinkler Super 7 in there.
Bit of seasoning.
Yeah, so a bit of seasoning in there, and honestly, I usually put them out every 2 weeks or so. But with my more recent tracks being more detailed and much larger, it normally takes about a month now for an event lab to come out.
Getting more and more ambitious every time. It's like when an author has a series of books and they're like banging one out like every year, and then suddenly it's been 5 years since the most recent book. Like, where is it?
Well, that's it. Yeah,
Perfection takes time.
Each one, it does. Yeah, that's it. You can't rush these sort of things.
Absolutely not. And you have a whole portfolio on your website now of all the works you've done so far. And there are descriptions, you've got difficulty ratings, there's a lot of information there to help people find your content. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. As you say, it's a great little portfolio. You've got pictures there, so you know what you're going to click on. Difficulty ratings, if it says 8 out of 10, you might not want to click on it because the controller might end up in the wall. Maybe stick to the lower numbers there.
Wait, who rates them?
Yeah,
do you rate them yourself, or is this based on like community ratings?
Do.
Yeah.
No, I do rate them myself. I try and be fair with the ratings. I also put ratings on the community creations. On the left tab, there's a couple of pages from the great creators out there with pictures, difficulty ratings, and descriptions.
Very cool. Well, let's take a closer look at one, or a few actually, of these maps, starting with one of them, which was one of your most recent ones, Custom Rally. So talk us through the goal and the concept behind this one.
So I wanted to originally create a rally environment of my own, building it from the ground up. I lost my train of thought. Oh no!
It happens.
I just wanted to create my own little environment, which is a great place for you to come. Take a load of. I wanted to make a lot of photographic areas, so you can park your favorite car with your best livery on, and just take some great photos with some unique backgrounds.
Yeah, definitely. It stands out a lot compared to some of the environments that you'd usually find in game, which is really cool. You got that little waterway, you got all these rocks, which we'll talk about later. But you got some custom buildings that you put in as well, right? Like you've got a boathouse and there's like an excavator and all sorts there. It's like a theme park.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite intense, to be honest. There's a lot of custom buildings there. Like you said, the boathouse there as well. That's pretty awesome. You know, it's a great thing to drive past. Something unique, something you don't see in the game generally. And that was the idea, you know, behind this. Is just these all unique buildings that you just don't see anywhere else.
Yeah, it's awesome. And not only that, but you put quite a complex route in there as well, because it sort of loops back on itself, and there's like multiple levels to drive on too, which is, I mean, there's a lot going on. Did you plan that ahead of time, or did you kind of just start building and see where it went?
Yeah, there is a lot going on. It's I mean, as a complete project right now, it does look super complex, but yeah, I sort of build block by block as I go along. I might have an idea such as I want to build a mine shaft or something, and then I have to start thinking of the process of, oh, I actually need to elevate the track so that I can bring it back down into the mine shaft. But yeah, essentially it's building in blocks.
Okay, so you kind of see what happens once you put the first few bits down and see where your mind takes you, really. We're going to watch some gameplay right now of this map. You can sort of see all the little twists and turns we've been talking about here in the different environments, which is really cool. I mean, how much of the prop budget did you use here? Because it looks like there's a lot of props here.
Yeah, it's super detailed. I absolutely maxed out the prop budget. I couldn't place a single flower pot. That was it.
Oh my God.
I said I would have continued to add on to this, but you know, it's good there's a prop limit there, because yeah, there has to be limits. Otherwise, I would have been building forever. And as I said, possibly the Xbox would blow up as well. Not to say it's a bad thing, but I mean, if you put that much detail in, you're going to be running at quite a low frame rate there. So yeah, it's lots of detail.
Limitations force creativity, because you kind of have to work around problems, don't you? A lot, which you have done a few times in this map in particular.
Oh, of course, yeah. That brings up really, for example, all the rocks that we've gone past. It's all one rock. You know, it's just been rotated multiple times to make it look like a different rock selection, because of those limitations of the prop budget and performance and whatnot, having to load up different types of assets, well, props in the game.
You'd never know, though. It's quite subtle. I don't think you'd be able to tell it's all the same rock. It's very cool. We actually have a time lapse of you building this as well. So let's take a look at that, because I think that's quite fascinating. So how long did you spend building this one? And is it that sort of normal for your builds, or?
So I actually spent about 26 hours on this build over the course of a month. So it was quite a long time. And yeah, I typically spend about 10 to, well, maybe 13 hours actually on normal projects, but this was an exception. This was a much larger project to work on. But as you can see here in the time lapse, you see I'm sort of building in chunks, maybe adding in a few details, like chunk by chunk by chunk. Because you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. You build like way ahead, and you're like, oh, I've got to detail all this stuff behind. You sort of get a bit deflated by it, so just sort of go with the flow.
Imagine it's easy to plan out a huge, vast area and then run out of budget and just realize you can't quite. You've not got the vision to make that bit work anymore. So smart, working bit by bit, building it, expanding it as you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that, you know.
Yeah. So you refer to yourself as the Builder of Worlds, which is a very cool title. And that's pretty obvious when we look at the next map we've got to showcase here, which is Eden Project. Very different vibes from the custom rally map, and it has quite an interesting backstory as well, I hear. So tell us more about it.
Yeah, so, you know, with a lot of my creations, they're all sort of different in their own way. I don't really like to do the same creation over and over. Yeah, with this one, it was more of like a fantasy sort of fantasy nature environment here. I mean, if you look at the far back there, we've got some rock trees, and I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as a rock tree in real life. I mean, if there is, please link me up. You know, make me eat my words there. But yeah, you know, it's a really just sort of out of this world thing. There's not a lot of man-made buildings here, apart from just the absolutely massive loop-de-loop. Oh, here we have a closer clip of the a closer view of the rock trees here. So it's a really unique style environment that you just wouldn't really find in Forza Horizon 5, which is great. To transform the player to a new area. I said the massive loop-de-loop there.
Yeah, you got the loop-de-loop here. There's a stunt park. I mean, that's ties in with the Hot Wheels expansion coming out tomorrow, which you must be pretty excited for, because you've got these new assets to come and hang out with and have some fun with, like new loop-de-loops, right?
Yeah, exactly. I said the Hot Wheels DLC, we're all really excited for that. And especially with being able to create your own tracks in Hot Wheels as well, with the snappable feature, where you snap the tracks together. It should only take like 5 seconds to snap your loop-de-loops or corkscrews together, versus maybe the 15 hours it took me to, build something like that. So, 5 seconds over 15 hours. So it's sort of more available to everyone there.
Definitely. And you've chosen to build this in the arena as well, which it looks like you build quite a lot of your maps in the arena. And what is it about the arena that you quite like as a canvas?
Good question. So I do like the arena purely based on the fact that there's nothing in it. I just like the blank canvas. I said there's nothing wrong with what's outside of the arena. I love the trees. I love everything that Forza playground games have done outside of the decoration. However, I like to create my own worlds, my own space. And when there's a tree in the way, I just want to be like, I want to delete this tree. But you can't. So building in the arena, it's a nice canvas. It's just flat. I can build what I want to do, what I envision even.
True creative freedom. Well, let's have a look at another map that you've done then. We're going to look at the Gymkhana Playground next. So talk to me about this one. What's unique about this?
So this is quite different to a lot of my other builds. A lot of my other builds are basically a lot of nature, a lot of bushes, a lot of rocks. Whereas this one, I've toned it down and gone for more of an urban look. As you can see the car park there. It's quite different to my other ones. So it's quite challenging for me to sort of change the way I build to sort of build more urban. I did take a lot of inspiration from people like Vuku and Josie with their just incredible city maps. So detailed. I sort of had a quick little peek. Took a couple of I'll take a couple of fence panels there, take a couple of little bits and pieces and make them my own. It was a learning curve. What makes this super unique though is the rule sets in this. So you'd actually have to, instead of just driving to the finish line, you have custom objectives to hit in this. So there's 3 custom objectives, like drift score, about 20k drift score. You have to find and hit crates as well, which helps you explore the map. And I can't remember the third one off the top of my head. Totally forgotten it. You have to accomplish those 3 objectives to finish the race. So it's a bit different.
But no, it's a good job you didn't tell us, because now it means that everybody can go find it for themselves and do it without it being spoiled. So there you go. Challenge. But yeah, a variety of challenges within a challenge itself, which is awesome. Speaking of challenges, we've actually got one more, and this one has a couple of little tricks up its sleeve. So let's take a look at your Farmyard Dash creation here. What's the challenge with this one?
To be honest, it is just getting from the start to the finish with this one. It's definitely got some challenging sections. A lot of people have raged a few times at a certain section. But again, it's a completely different environment. You might just really want to dive around the farmyard and take exploration to the next level. It's a completely unique environment. Said cool little switchbacks there in this picture. You drop down and you're going back on yourself. So it's definitely a unique experience. Well, let's take a, it's just unique.
Take a look at the section you mentioned. You said there's a bit that people rage at. Is it this one, by any chance?
So, this section right here, I know a few people have struggled with this, sort of making it across from the blue container to the pink. It's, you may end up with a controller in your wall if you're not careful.
There you go. Well, see if you could do it without raging. The challenge is yours. There's so much variety here in your creations, not just with the environments you've created, but also the challenges within them. So it's really, really awesome. Congratulations on that. Very, very cool.
Thank you.
And before we let you go, do you have any resources for anybody who's looking to learn more about EventLab or to link up with other EventLab creators?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, we've got my website, where you can go on there, check out some other community creations, take some inspiration from that, and just take a look at some of my creations. Also, the Autosport Therapy Discord, a great Discord server with like-minded people, a lot of which have been on the PG Editor's Choice. So we all seem to know kind of what we're doing. So, if you have any questions about rules or, you're just stuck on what to do. You don't know how to make some rumble strips on a racetrack or something. Just come in and ask around. So it's very handy. And I also stream on Twitch myself. So of course, if you have any questions you want to ask me, right now, just head on over after the stream and feel free to ask away.
Absolutely. Well, Twisted Knot, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, and we can't wait to see what you dream up with the new EventLab tools coming your way in the Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels update. I hope you have an amazing stream today, and if you do have any questions about anything EventLab or any of these courses or anything, go ask. Go straight to the source. There's no better place for answers than right to the stream.
That's it.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, so that's right. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And do check out the Twitch chat for Twisted Knot's social channels where you can find all of his EventLab creations and follow along with whatever he dreams up next. And of course, we are always on the lookout for more fantastic Forza content creators like Twisted Knot. So if you know somebody who deserves a feature, nominate them at aka.ms/Forza Spotlight.